episode of In the Principal Office. My name is Liza, and I'm the school principal of MI Darul Ulum Karangpandan, East Java, Indonesia. On behalf of Global School Leaders, I'm delighted to be your host today. Usually, being called to the principal office is a scary thing, but I hope through this series we are able to change that. Today, I'm honored to have an exceptional leader and educator visit me in my office. I'm excited to speak to him about the leadership required for schools today. Please join me in welcoming Benjamin Piper, Director of Global Education Program at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a global nonprofit that fights poverty, disease, and inequality around the world. Benjamin, welcome to the show. We are delighted to have you join us today.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, Liza. I'm excited to talk about the principal's office.
Yeah, thank you. So are you ready?
Very ready.
Okay, so here's my first question for you. Given you are in my office, what was your relationship with your school principal? Did you ever get called to the principal office?
I got called to the principal's office twice. Actually, my mother was best friends with the principal, which made it a little bit awkward. She knew me very well, and so when I walked by, she had her eye on me. So I got called for two reasons. The first is that my best friend, he actually had to move away. He lost his mother. And because of the way that schools were structured in the US, you had to go to the school in your neighborhood. So he lost his mother, and so then he was moving to his aunt's house, which meant he had to move. So I was trying to convince the principal that they should find a way so that he could stay. Actually, she did find a way. That's one of the ways that all the administrative work that principals have to do actually ended up working. The second reason I got called to the principal's office is because I got in a fight when I was in 5th grade. I won't tell you if I won or lost, but that was the second reason I got called to the principal's office.
So it was when you in elementary school, right?
Yeah, the fight was elementary school, exactly.
Okay, that's great to hear. When I was in elementary school, the figure of a school principal became very scary. Not even talking to him, just seeing him walking toward us, it was already a bad signal for our class. You know, because of that experience, I was determined to be close to the children and to become a person who they miss when they didn't meet me. So Benjamin, let's move to the next question. You've been working in education for decades and have played many roles in ensuring successful education strategies work at scale. Given this, how do you view the role of school principals in ensuring scale and sustainability of these strategies?
So I actually almost became a principal. I have a school leadership degree and for my master's degree. And I was really excited actually about taking a job as an assistant principal, or the other choice was to go to grad school for international education. It was a very hard choice. But the reason I was so excited about the role of a school principal is because I think it's key for two main reasons. Number one is that they have the opportunity to be instructional leaders. They have the opportunity to be able to show teachers, encourage teachers on the daily task that matters most, which is on helping teachers teach better. And I really love the work of, leadership by walking around, by being an active member of my school and coming in the classroom and talking to kids. So my dream actually was to be a principal and then work in the inner city where I grew up. But my path went a different way. So I think that the role of the principal is really critical for the sort of work that we do because of the possibilities of instructional leadership, that these high quality principals can be ones not only who serve the administrative role, but also support teachers on the daily task of teaching better. And the second one is to be the face and symbol of the community and the school connecting. I think when I was trained as a school principal, part of the role I really loved was actually interacting with parents, interacting with the community, having the community see the school as a place where they really are connected and can be helpful to them. So I think the school principals that are the most effective are ones who are doing the combination of the instructional leadership as well as the combination of work with the community to have the school and community well connected so that expectations are higher. But fundamentally, the main task that I see that matters the most for learning quality improvement worldwide is the school leader, the school principal, as someone who helps the teacher to teach better and uses the power of the teacher at the school level to be able to help each other as well as help themselves to be able to be better teachers every day.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, as a school principal myself, these last 2 years have really pushed my understanding of leadership. As you said before, I used to think that leading was only how to make people obey the system and the rules, but now I can finally understand that leading is how to empower others, right? By communicating, like you said, and then inspiring, motivating, and being able to appreciate differences. I'm curious to hear, given your work, what is the kind of school leadership required to get education system back on track?
I think it's worth pointing out that the education outcomes are really far behind. I think there was some recent evidence that shows that children on average, again, this varies by country, this varies by state, this varies by, in your case, island, it varies tremendously across the world. But on average, kids are between a half a year or a little bit more behind where they should be. And particularly for the poor and the rural in the parts of the world that most of my work is focused on in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, that's a substantial amount. And so having kids who are already behind because of their background now being farther behind because of COVID learning loss means that we have real tasks out ahead of us. So the kind of leadership that will get us back on track. I think one of the main things that you can see a principal do that can be effective is having high expectations for their learners, particularly for schools where the children are poor or from minority groups or from parts of the country that are not as wealthy, to be able to show that in my particular school, expectations are high for these children. Maybe the world assumes that they're not that talented, but from my point of view as the school leader, I really believe in them. Again, the job that I didn't take as a school leader was one that was in the inner city and one of the poorest states in the United States. And I recognized that when I was a teacher in those schools, being able to just have high expectations, not only of myself, but of those children, that those children are just as capable as the kids in the rich school down the street, but also at the school leader level, that teachers they should have high expectations of teachers, that they're teaching with a substantial amount of instructional time, and they're using some of the best methods. I just read an article in Time about Time magazine about a phonics program. It just came out a couple of days ago, and it showed basically the lead of the article. The first paragraph was saying that this phonics program had a big impact on learning, but the teachers didn't like it. And it was really a heartbreaking article from a school leadership point of view. On the one hand, the program really worked. On the other hand, the teachers didn't want to use it anymore. So when they stopped using it, the outcomes went down. I would think that a strong school leader like you would have been there to have those teachers understand that using this program is good because we have these expectations of learners, and whatever helps them to learn better, whatever helps them to reach their potential, that's what we as teachers should do. And so, yeah, I think that the purpose of a school leader in this period is to really focus on the sort of instructional approaches that will help children catch up, increasing instructional time, and really being able to provide them the benefits of the work. Just quickly, the three things that I think have the best evidence right now to respond to learning loss that a school principal can help with. Number one is something called structured pedagogy, tightly aligned materials for teachers to use to help kids. Number two, teaching at the right level, helping kids catch up if they're behind. And number three, remediation. And the sort of remediation approaches differ by context, but a good school leader will be able to encourage their teachers to use these three methods. Thanks.
That's so true. Okay, Benjamin, my next question involves a little game. a quick round of rapid fire. I have
Sure.
a set of sentences that are incomplete. We
Mhm.
would like for you to complete them with the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you
Okay,
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Here goes. First question. Joy in the classroom looks like.
Joy in the classroom looks like activity, students moving, students learning, loud classrooms. As the school principal, you have to walk past and not be upset because the classroom is loud. Joy in the classroom means fun, but good learning, and all children being able to reach their potential.
Fun learning. Yes, agree. Again, second question. Children today need.
Children today need a chance. They need an opportunity to be able to show their potential.
Okay, amazing. Number three. Schools in the future need to.
Schools in the future need to be built around high quality teaching. I really feel strongly that even going forward, as technology continues to change education, it's all going to come down to high quality teaching by a skilled teacher who cares about their children, no matter what tool they're using, technological, textbook, whatever it is. Good teaching.
Okay, last question. School leadership is.
School leadership is difficult, but critical for improving outcomes for the world.
Okay, that was fantastic. Thank you for playing along. And finally, it will be the last question for you, Benjamin. If you were a school principal today, what would you focus on? Any advice for all the school principal out there listening to this?
If I was a school principal, and by the way, I almost was. So you're taking me back to the road not taken. I often miss. I think about what it would have been like. If I was a school principal, I would make sure that my community understood, because I would have chosen to teach in a poor area with children who are behind. I would make sure that the community understood that my expectations were that these kids were just as capable as the kids in the rich school nearby. And I would make sure that the teachers understood that this is a place where we don't just teach for a paycheck. We don't just teach because it's a good job. We teach because we fundamentally believe that these children have capacity and capabilities that it's our job to unwrap. So if I was a school principal, I would make sure that the community was connected. I would make sure that I was helping my teachers access high quality instruction. And Lisa, the main thing I would do is I would spend a lot of time in classrooms.
Yeah.
I would spend a lot of time observing teachers. I would spend a lot of time watching teachers and students interact. The best thing that school principals can do is be not just a theoretical instructional leader, but an instructional leader that spends time in classrooms. I'm not a school principal, but one of the things I evaluate myself on is how much time I've spent in classrooms, how much time I've been there with teachers, how much time I've seen them interact with kids, because that's ultimately the skill set that we need most. And school principals can play a big role.
That's so inspiring. Thank you. Benjamin, it was an absolute pleasure to speak with you. We are lucky to have people like you who think so deeply about collective leadership, and it's important in building a future for children around the world. We cannot thank you enough for this conversation.
Well, I think that we appreciate most the principals who are listening to this. Doing that task is really important, and I'm really happy to be part of the discussion today.
Okay. Okay, to our viewers, thank you for joining us. As you listen to this conversation, let us know what you think is the kind of leadership needed to build excellent school. Leave your talk in the comments below. See you in our next episode of In the Principal Office. Thank you and good day.
Thank you.